This clip is brought to you by VegasWinners.com. Get expert sports betting advice from some of the best handicappers in the world. Head on over to VegasWinners.com and win yourself some money.
Insane, one of the premier sporting events in the world today, Starrcade. Starrcade 83 was quite an event, and now up on top of it, Starrcade 86, Thanksgiving night. Everybody looking forward to our biggest event. Mr. Jim Crockett, president of Jim Crockett Promotions, is with us once again. And Jimmy, I know you're planning another big event.
That's right, Tony. We have a great Thanksgiving night coming up. The two cities where all the matches will originate from have been selected, and it's Greensboro and Atlanta. A lot of great live matches there, which will be closed circuit into major cities all across the United States. We've got one match already signed, and we also have a signed contract from the NWA World Champion Ric Flair. He will defend his title. His opponent hadn't been selected. But let's take a look at how this our first match came about.
Okay, let's take a look at that videotape right now that he's talking about.
I love this so much. The little cameo in the end.
Paul Jones, or losing my blood, Willie, to Paul Jones. The Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. Nobody knows how tight we were. You see, we were both in Nam. Paul Jones, you scarred my soul for life. I have nothing more to offer. I want to thank all my peoples for supporting your boogeyman. God only knows your boogeyman loves you all.
You got to be watching this, folks. Boogie's pulled a harmonica out of his boot, and here comes Big Fum.
Boogeyman! Where have you been? Big Mama has been looking everywhere for her mate. I've looked in every bar. I've looked in every car. And here you are. Honey, we both know the problem Paul Jones has caused us. And when you came home with your head shaved,
and glory. Baby, I will not let you down. Paul Jones, if you win, every red hair on Big Mama's head will be shaved. And if you lose, finally, you will be the bald-headed geek.
Come on, Biggie. Let's go, baby. Let's go party. Come on. Get out of this bed.
Hair versus hair, Starrcade 86, Thanksgiving night, and here is Jim Crockett.
And this time, the hair of Big Mama up against the hair of Paul Jones.
That's about all that Jimmy Valiant had left that Paul Jones wanted. And I guess he just thoroughly wants to.
Okay, Paul is here with us now. Paul?
This is the first main event that is to be signed. Well, that is an honor. Let me tell you something, Valiant. I am going to take that challenge because everything I said I was going to do to you in the past, it was done. Now, Valiant, can you imagine Big Mama, a bald-headed geek just like you, without that weight on her head, should fall over on her face, and you know that. And well, let me tell you something right now, Boogie Woogie. Manny Fernandez, the man that has all the money, is going to be sitting at ringside right there with me so he can witness it all. Valiant, you're a stupid idiot, and your old lady, Big Mama, the flower lady, is a bigger idiot because she's going to be a bald-headed geek. Can you imagine Big Mama? And that is, everybody is excited in my stable about it.
Okay, Paul Jones against Jimmy Valiant, hair versus hair. This year, our Starrcade 86 Control Center and announcements about Starrcade Weekly from that. Fans, we'll be right back. Don't you go away.
Dude, that vignette we just saw with Boogie Woogie and Big Mama is a top 10 Jim Crockett video for me.
Yes, it is.
I mean, I had seen that and didn't know it was there and here. Yeah. Oh, and we're back. And man, as if my love for Shaska couldn't get any bigger. He's now teaming with Ravishing Rick Rude and the Baron Von Raschke. I want to talk about Big Mama and Johnny Valiant. Remind me in a moment. We'll come back to it. But over the weekend, I got to hang out with Megan's mother.
Okay.
Or as the Nature Boy calls her, old number one.
Okay.
And first of all, she's doing phenomenally. She has a beautiful home, and we got to spend a lot of time together. And it's always great to get to hang out with her. But it was funny because we're hanging out in Charlotte, right? And so she's driving us somewhere. I don't know. We just went for tacos or something, and we're on the way back, and she's driving, and she points to the left as we're on our way from the restaurant home, and she says, "You know, Baron Von Raschke used to live down there." And then as we make another couple of turns and lefts and rights along the way, she says, "Oh, Ivan Koloff lived on this street." It was fun to hear from her perspective, you know, about the good old days of Jim Crockett Promotions, which would have been in the 70s at that point, you know, so 10 years prior to this. But it was interesting to hear from her perspective. You know, Greg Valentine and Greg Valentine's sister apparently was a witch. I just learned that this week. I did not know that Johnny Valentine had a witch daughter, like she practiced witchcraft. Did you know that?
I've never heard that story before.
And I got to have lunch with David Crockett one day and asked him about it. And he said, "Oh yeah." So apparently it's out there that Johnny Valentine had a witch. Either way, I had a great time in the old Crockett territory, if you will.
That's true.
Catching up with the former Mrs. Fleer, Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe this is real, but we not only got a handicapper, but we got the best ever. How are you so good at handicapping these games? I mean, 4-0, that's quite a streak already.
Well, let's talk about every pick I've given this year in the NFL as an example. 23-8. Every pick I've given this year. 4 weeks in the bag, 23-8. There's nobody in the country that can match what I do, but I always make sure, because anybody, Conrad, could make up anything. They could tell you and blow smoke and tell you, oh, I'm the greatest. But I am independently monitored and documented, so nobody could ever question what I say and go, I don't believe it. I send every pick to an independent monitoring and documentation service that has to get the pick before the game goes off and then publishes it after the game goes off so anybody could see what I gave. But this is the best start I've ever had. I've never been this good to start a season. You don't win every week, 4 weeks in a row, everything you put out. It's been the kind of year I've had. So get on a hot streak, because when a guy's on a hot streak like me, you want to ride it. I've always had a talent for picking winners. Never quite as hot as I am right now, but I've always been very good at it. And I think it's because I do more homework than anybody else. The average guy or gal watching this podcast, they don't have time. They have a career. They have jobs. They might read the newspaper or go online and see something, but they don't have time 80 hours a week to study the games. That's what I do. And I have a crew of guys behind me, my consultants, who every week we get together 3 times a week and they throw their ideas at me. I throw my ideas at them. And then I pick the final 5 plays on Saturday and Sunday in college and pro football. So, I've got a great team behind me too, but we're all doing together hundreds of hours of homework. So you don't have to. It's all at vegaswinners.com.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to vegaswinners.com right now. Let's win some money. And the current Mr. Crockett. So great times were had. But man, that Johnny Valiant video I had seen, I'm going to guess about 8 years ago for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I was not watching wrestling in 86 and I didn't really have near the appreciation in 2013 that I do now for Boogie Woogie. Yeah. But that promo was good. Of course, it didn't originally air like that. As you've probably guessed, that wasn't the music that was with it. So the mix was off and you couldn't really quite make out what he was saying at the first of the video, but you get the gist.
Sure.
But I love the story. I love his look, that jacket held together by like leather string up top, but it's got the Harley on the front, but it's a denim jacket. And then he reaches in his boot where his jeans have been cut now, pulls out the harmonica. Here comes a damn station wagon. And then out comes Big Mama with perhaps the best / worst. I guess we'll call it the worst, best overacting of all time in professional wrestling.
Right.
But my question to you, after everything we saw in that video, and boy, it was great. Why did they call her Big Mama? I can't figure it out.
Well, you just need to probably watch the video a couple more times. Also, let me tell you something about, it's odd that we were talking about tattoos today.
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy Valiant had tattooed on his fingers, right above the knuckles, right between the knuckles, right? On the left hand, Big, and on the right hand, Mama. And he showed it to me. And if you go back and watch it, he clearly was talking with his right hand, and right across, Jimmy Valiant had put Mama. And on the first one, I put Big. So it's odd that and of all the tattoos that I've seen that I've remember, that's the tattoo I remember more than any, because he gave me both fists when he said, look at this, brother. Big Mama. I said, oh my God. Good for you, Jimmy.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.